Hey guys, welcome back. And I don't usually talk too much about politics on here, in mention, like in passing, but there's some interesting stuff that's happened over the last week and leading into the main story here that I'm covering. I think it's worth mentioning. So, if you recall, this woman, E. Jean Carroll, who has these allegations against Trump that I honestly cannot even recall. There's so many lawsuits out there. If her claim was considered invalid or unprovable, but then she was still able to sue him for defamation. Now they're going to give her $84 million or some crazy number like that. But the part that I remember that was really interesting was the fact that she was questioned about how her account of what Trump supposedly did to her matched a story from Law & Order SVU, a show she claims that she doesn't watch because it's too violent, although she is an avid fan, her own words, of Law & Order. So it is really funny that we have these occurring similarities between the episode and the story that she claimed happened with Trump, while she herself is a big fan of the series Law & Order. So speaking of SVU, a show she claims she doesn't watch, fans, and I can attest to this because I used to watch SVU with my wife, and it got to the point where I'm like, what is this crap? I can't keep watching this. It got so bad. The writing was so terrible. Fans are not having it anymore. It's one of those shows that people are so sick and tired of. So this article here from the US Sun says that it's in a downward spiral. Law & Order SVU has gotten worse and worse. Fans rip as they blast new episode as a hot mess and downright kooky. Viewers call out the show's writing, with a key aspect in particular really upsetting many fans. So it says the show is only 2 episodes into season 25. Wow, that's a lot of seasons. Holy cow. But viewers are already insisting the writing has only got worse with each broadcast. The latest broadcast saw Olivia Benson work with the FBI in an unsolved case. Tutola and Joe Velasco, meanwhile, looked to do a flash mob robbery that led to an assault, according to the official synopsis. Okay, so this is the episode we're going to talk about. People were saying this week's SVU was a mess. The mental gymnastics the show is doing to make sure the cops are always the good guy are just downright kooky at this point, which is really weird because that's not the way that I interpret this episode, and you'll see why in a minute. This episode is a hot mess. A second upset Law & Order viewer ripped. Who is writing this garbage for Law & Order? These episodes have only gotten worse and worse. This has got to be the worst episode of SVU I've ever seen. Throw it all in the trash. And the funny thing is, I give up on shows after they get too terrible. Like, my wife and I, we watched Supernatural up into, the 10th, 11th season. And eventually I was like, okay, the show was always cheesy. It was always corny. But it got to the point where it was borderline unwatchable. Shows like this, 25 years, and it's seen so many changes from its origin to now. I mean, think about it. It started in the 90s, where things were not nearly as progressive and left-leaning as they are now. So it says, in the season 25 premiere of Law & Order SVU, titled Tunnel Blind, Benson gave a quick toast and tribute. Okay, so yeah, one of the actors, Richard, what's his name, Belson? No, wait, let me find it. Hang on a second. That's right. His character's name was Munch. The actor was Richard Belzer, and he did pass away, which is sad. So the reason so many people are probably complaining, and I don't know how much of this clip I can play because copyrights and all that stuff. So if I'll try to keep the volume low, and I will summarize a little bit here. Basically, this is a woman who was assaulted by a black teen, okay, during a failed or attempted robbery. You think I forgot? So her reaction, and I'm going to try to play as much of this as I can, is basically that even though he did something horrible to her, the fact that he's going to go to prison for the rest of his life and she'll be able to get over it with therapy is just not okay with her.
One day, I'll be okay. But if that teenager goes to prison, he may not be.
And there it is. There is literally the brain, mind melt that we have nowadays, the mindset of these people, that this person, this poor, unfortunate teenager who never had a chance in life to do anything better, he's going to go to jail for doing something absolutely heinous, but it's terrible because he's going to go to jail when the reality is she'll be okay because all she needs is some therapy.
I took something I can't get back. It was just supposed to be a robbery.
And the funny thing is, I don't know how much of this I can play. He explains to the DA, I'm so sorry about this. I grew up not being seen. I didn't have a family that cared about me, and I felt like I didn't matter, and so I finally realized that what I did mattered. It's like, okay. So we're going to play the victim card and say he was acting out of bad parenting, unstable environment at home, lack of attention, and so this woman, being the white savior, just needs to forgive him for this horrible thing he did because he couldn't help himself, and he's just going to have his life ruined by going to prison. That is where we're at. So, I mean, this is why cable television is so terrible. I mean, to be honest, the streaming shows have gotten to be pretty crappy too, but I just found this too hilarious not to mention, so let me know what you guys think about this down below. I mean, I don't watch this crap anymore. Hopefully most of you don't either. But share your thoughts down below, and I will see you guys on the next one. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching the video. We do have 2 channels, one for daily uploads, the other one for more of my live streams and hot takes. Links to both are down below, as well as the ability to join as a channel member for as little as $3 a month, and that'll greatly help us out. Much appreciated. We also have links to our Etsy accounts down below, as well as our website. We also have locals and Subscribestar. If you didn't want to support us on YouTube, you can support us through those. Thanks again for being here, and we will see you on the next one.